Hi, welcome to Third Eye Thursdays here at Vision Quest Metaphysical Bookstore. I'm Dylan. I work here behind the counter and in the office, and tonight we have one of our readers, Constantina. She has been reading with us for, what did we determine last time?
About a year and a half.
About a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she's been with us for a year and a half. She works, what days do you work?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and whenever needed. Yes.
There you go. Perfect.
Yep.
So tonight we will be doing free minute readings. So if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments for us, and we'll be able to get to those here in a bit. Let's start with some of the stuff we have here, because one of the things you do, sorry, I had to put my drink
That's
down.
right.
One of the things
Yep.
you're really good with, definitely, is altars
That's right.
and setting those up. And so what are some, for new people that might be joining us, what are some things about altars? What is an altar?
Uh-oh. I didn't know about that question.
It's okay.
Altar. Okay. For me, and the way I use altars is a way of moving energy and activating in our lives what we would like to have happen for ourselves and others. And it's a format. I consider even the act of laying out tarot cards or other cards a formulation of an altar. Pretty much a table where we eat, dine at, is an altar. When we set up our bureau, let's say, at home for our personal toiletries and so on, that is an altar. It's a place to focus intention, where we are trying to go from one place to the next in the evolution of that time and space continuum. That sounded really impressive to me.
We'll have to remember that speech on the back burner for the classes you'll teach at some point. Yeah, so tonight we kind of create a whole host of things here.
Right.
Tried to bring in a lot of fun things, didn't we? We have the sounds with the singing bowl and the bell. I use sound a lot.
Yes,
I use it. It's a great way to kind of...
to clear and focus.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad we have each other, because my words were not coming
Attention, yes.
out. You're right.
No
Attention.
disrespect, please.
No. We have a lot of crystals, and with our crystals, actually, our owner and the manager have been going to a lot of the gem shows recently, and so we have so many crystals here in the store for you to come in and see. We have the beautiful spheres, like the selenite. That's selenite, right? Oh, good. Look at that. I even know my stones.
There you go.
Rose quartz, beautiful wands as well. So there's a lot of new things coming in constantly.
That's correct.
And so for any of the new people here, let's learn a little bit about you.
And don't forget about
our
our
books here.
book selection
I should
that
know
tells
about
us
that.
all about the meanings and the
And these are
vibrational
all
frequencies.
3 Bibles?
That's right.
Oh, look at you.
Yes,
You even know how to get them all.
I do. I can't read, but I can look at the pictures. It's
There you go.
very helpful.
Pictures are always helpful. And so for a lot of people that don't know, you actually don't use tarot cards.
No, I
You
don't.
use playing cards.
Yes.
And so that's a fun way to kind of...
I always tell people, if you don't like your reading, we can play a hand of poker and you can win your money back.
There you go.
Or not.
Or not. Depends on how good you are. That's a great way to go about it. I want to play some poker. Let's go.
Let's go. Somebody, marriage card.
Oh, look at that. Already done that.
Yes.
Been there, done that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But yeah, so how long have you been reading?
I have been reading people's inventory since I was about a year old. And I have the bruises on my shins where my mother used to kick me under the table because I had said things, new things that were inappropriate to tell about people. That's why people shut down their third eye. It's a lot easier and they think it's a lot safer that way.
Oh, there you
And
go.
that's the truth, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I mean, that's not the truth that it works that way, but that's the truth of what happens with,
what people
with,
do.
with most
Yeah,
people.
definitely. And so how did you kind of, other than your mom kicking you under the table, how did you kind of know you had gifts?
Well, probably the first time I was aware that I had done a reading was I had written a letter to someone that was in a class, I think it was a senior, and they were going through a really hard time. And I wrote this letter, and it was apparently a reading or a channeled insight into them. And this, of course, was a person I didn't officially know. And so when I gave them the letter, they were both horrified that somebody knew that. And secondly, they were helped immensely by what was said. I didn't really understand that it was an actual reading, and I did not collect payment. And if you're out there, I would like to receive a little remuneration for that.
Do you remember what it was?
For that person?
Yeah.
They were
'Cause I'm nosy.
they were going through they were much more evolved than the people they were hanging around, and as a result they were not being recognized for who they really are. They were trying to fit in to a situation that they had no business fitting into. So hopefully they were able to change their course of action of how they treated themselves and live a happier life and more fulfilled. Most of us, well, I should speak for myself, have chased around for approval from people that are never going to give it to me. Is this a therapy session right now? Okay. And it's a long, hard road to realize that sometimes you just have to be your own counsel.
Yeah.
And that leads us into oracle cards.
Right. They are very different.
Yes.
So
yes.
there are many different ways to read, and I prefer tarot. Tarot is my...
But I think when people are doing their own readings for their own self, one of the ways to, how I tell people to clear themselves in order to read in a neutral zone so that they are impartial, stand away from yourself so you see the answer, especially with regular cards like this. Mm-hmm. If you ask a question and you pick cards, and for instance, I didn't ask a question, but we're pretending, and I get a lot of spades. Spades for me indicate situations or things that need to be resolved in order to come to peace and fruition and go forward in what I'm drawing on. So once I continue to keep drawing until I have no more spades coming forward, now I know I've cleared and resolved my problem. So for me, it's a very practical way of knowing that I have actually given myself the answer that I'm seeking.
There you go. That's
yes,
a cool way to do it.
It is. So there's different methods.
Very cool. And anyone who's just joining us, welcome. Please, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and Constantina will be answering them for you. I won't be, not tonight.
I'll channel you, okay?
Right. We'll speak through you tonight, though. We'll be doing that. And if any of you like what you hear from her tonight and want to expand upon it or have other questions you want to ask her, you can always come in and see her. What were your days again? Monday,
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
There you go. Monday through Thursday, and she's here from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. those days. And you can come in at 3114 East Indian School Road. We're in Phoenix. Or if you can't come into the store physically, you can give us a call at 480-949-1888. Had to think about what number I was saying out loud there for a second. And we can get you over to her and get you a phone reading. So there's a lot of different options. And we do have a few questions coming in if we want to jump right in and see what we can get for some people. We have, I'm going to just start this now and say I'm sorry if I mispronounce any names. I'm very bad at that sometimes, so I'm very sorry. We have Julissa saying, I'd like to know if me and my husband's finances will be better this year. Will we be able to move into a house?
Yes, but the main thing is for you to work together he tends to spend a little too much money, is that right? You can't answer me, so there, I'm going to assume that that's correct, because I always make it correct, no matter what I read. So he has a pattern of fear-based pattern that he will not have, he will not receive, he cannot receive. So in order for you to achieve and receive, which you are the one that drives that ship, you need to reassure him that you know exactly what you're doing, even if you don't, and proceed that way. Have a plan and follow it.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have a plan and follow it. That sounds like so much easier.
Yeah.
So much easier to do anything like that. We have Jody who's saying, please read me. Doesn't look like she has a question, but is there anything there for Jody?
Okay, we'll find out. There's a Gene Autry song about being a stranger to yourself. That's for the old timers. And you out there, Jerry, one of our wonderful psychic readers, you know Gene Autry just as well as I do, I'm sure. You do well in front of people, and you should consider a career that involves teaching and helping and working with large groups of people. Not everybody is able to be the intercessor for many people, but you are very, very good at it. You need to trust yourself more and realize and confirm for yourself that you do have a message to deliver. You do have a teaching to deliver to other people. And whoever told you that that was not true and tried to put you aside for their own edification, they're out of your life now. And you don't have to listen to that voice anymore. Go forward and do what you're here to do.
There you go. I love the idea of will and doing what you're set here to do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be that. We have, let's see what else we have here. We have Mara saying, I need to know, does my friendship with my friend Ernest, if it's going to be a positive friendship?
Yes.
Oh, that's quick.
Very much so. Well, that was the cards I just saw.
Oh, I was like,
that was a
well
very
then.
quick answer. He's a very loyal friend, and that is hard to come by sometimes. Somebody who even though they see certain parts of you that maybe are not the most stellar parts, they still support you. They don't necessarily encourage or reinforce the negative aspects of you, but they encourage the positive aspects of you, and that is a true friend.
That is definitely a true friend.
There is a possibility of romantic feelings, at least on his part.
Well then. No, that's a good thing.
Love among friends is the best, I think.
You were quick to say that.
Oh,
huh?
yes, I am. Yes. Otherwise, it all gets very complicated very quickly.
Right.
Yes.
Very sweet. Well, Melissa is wondering, what are my spiritual gifts and how am I supposed to use them? What was the joke before?
Well, you obviously have a variety of spiritual gifts, and really they're not a secret. You can pretend that they're a secret. Right now they're telling me there's only 2 of those talents or skills that you're actively using, and that's all right. Just focus on them, and you will then be able to expand upon them, because what happens is that as we gain access to using more of our abilities, the more abilities we use, the more thorough and whole our readings and our counsel can be. You've got more tools. It's like if you painting with a limited palette as an artist, you can still do a very beautiful job, but when you add color to that palette and variety to that palette, you've now expanded and gone deeper. So you asked what those talents and abilities are. You actually already know that, and You're very gifted in counseling couples as like a romantic and relationship counselor.
There you go.
Yep.
It's a good little insight.
Did you notice how I didn't really answer her what her gifts were?
Well, if she knows. We don't always need to call everyone
Sometimes
out.
we have to know what we're trying to accomplish to know what gifts or tools or skills we want to use, and that's what determines what we find and pull out of our purse. If we know we're getting in the car to drive, we need to find the car keys in the purse. It's very simple.
Yeah.
And if you don't have those car keys in your purse, what do? You go and find those car keys. So identify what it is that you want to do or accomplish through your gifts, and then you will identify those gifts. It's kind of backwards, but that's Heyoka style.
Well, there you go. Sometimes you do things a little
That's
backwards.
it.
I know I do some things backwards. And we have another one asking about their gifts. So let's see what we have there. Probably some similar stuff. Do you get any, it's Mel asking, do you get anything concerning my gifts?
Are you registered with the police yet? I'm sorry. Well, and speaking on that, it's actually as almost like an investigator of sorts. That is where your primary gift is. You know how to follow a chain and to resolve a problem solving, crime solving. In fact, people that are suspicious of their certain significant other cheating would do very well to hire you on that one.
Well,
you actually know how to pull out of people. Sometimes they come in and they know they have a problem and they think they've identified the problem, but it's not the real problem, it's something else, and you know how to guide them into finding exactly the solution and answer to what they really need.
there you go.
Yep, there you go. Very good.
Very straightforward. I like it. This will be a fun one. We have Lauren asking, can I have some insight on February 17th? I feel like something is going to happen that day for me. I think that's in 2 days, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I know what's happening to me on February 17th, and that's, yeah, let's move on. It's
Let's
not
see
about
what's
me,
hap-
it's
let's
about
see what's
somebody
happening
else.
for
What's
Lauren
happening
on
for
the
Lauren?
17th.
You're going to get an offer, and I'm going to say that it might be regarding either a work situation, and you're going to really want this. This is going to appear like it's coming out of the blue, but it's actually a gift from Spirit for you. And take it. Thumbs up.
There you go.
You need out of the situation you've been in.
So, blessing.
Mhm,
Definitely a
mhm,
blessing.
mhm.
Very cool. We have Louise asking, will love come again into my life?
Yes, marriage card. It will. It will. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see a little bit more about what that looks like. Okay. In order to let love back into your life, it's important to close the door to pain from the other relationship. To pain. When we carry pain, we prevent anything from coming forward to us. It's like when you hurt your hand and you don't want to hit it, so you keep protecting it, but you have no use of that hand until it's healed, correct? This is kind of a stupid analogy, but you can, it's very clear and evident that you close the door to that chapter that hurt you so deeply, and then everything you want will bloom and open for you.
There you go. I like the hand.
Did you like that?
I did. It
That's
was
because
fun.
I've got.
Oh, that's funny. We have Mary asking, will I succeed in my job? You like doing career questions, don't you?
I do.
Careers are
Well, I do. I like the money questions better.
I like specifically the money ones, but hey. Career and money, they go hand in hand. Ish.
One would hope if they're doing it correctly, which I haven't for many years, but that's okay. Maybe I'll get that synced up one of these days.
Luckily, hopefully Mary will be doing better.
I gotta
about this.
sew up the holes in my pockets. That's what I gotta do. And it's interesting. Are you still listening? Because the pain related to my financial losses are standing in the way of my new gains. So I need to put the pain of loss regarding my finances away in order for me to regain financial wealth. There you go. What was the question? Because I'm reading for myself right now.
Will I succeed in my job is what Mary's asking.
Absolutely. And it's very much so. You're around people that really want to encourage you, support you, and endorse you. And that is the key to success. As it said, you want to make relations and keep those relations close, even if they don't quote unquote pay off right away. This is how you build your foundation, and then you build the group that you're working with, and that's how it goes. That's how it expands. So yes.
There you go. We have, if I mispronounce this, I'm so sorry. Given Keem saying, I'm about to move to another location, but I feel fear, like danger. Would you please advise me, should I move or not?
Okay, so you are a very intuitive person. You've been trained to talk yourself out of your intuition. If, when in doubt, don't. That's an old cliche. If you're afraid and you're not a paranoid, then by all means reconsider your decision, at least on moving to that location. I don't have to draw a card on that. I just gave you that answer. Yes? Where are we now?
There you go. We have Myra, again, if I mispronounce names, I'm sorry, saying, will I conceive this year?
So your fear, your anxiety gets in the way of those conceptions. There is a mistrust of the partner you're with. And until you resolve that, you will not conceive. It's not because you can't, that there's something wrong. This is the master cylinder up here. And I hear a lot of young people, because I'm an old as the buffalo, old as the dirt. A lot of people say, oh, you got to shut this thing off, and no. This is the master cylinder here. And you're a fool if you don't ask your intelligent self. So that's where the answers are. Intuition and intelligence are very much linked. And speaking of that, I'm going to give you a funny story about, I was taking, I hope I haven't shared the story, I don't think so. I was educated in Europe, and I was fluent in French. So when I came back to the United States, there were very few kids in school that were fluent in a foreign language. And so they would always put me back into lower classes because they had to keep me in a language class. So the high school that I wound up in at the end
This
was
long journey.
of this long journey. There were several of us, a handful, that were fluent in French. So they developed a class in Old French so that we would have a challenge to learn. So we read all the old books, the books in Old French, like Jean-Paul Sartre and all of these classics. And then we were going to get tested, final exam on this. And this was the first time. I was really rather afraid. I was an excellent student, not an excellent person, but an excellent student. And I was really concerned that I was going to blow this. So I was sitting in the library in this little cubicle before the exam. And mind you, there's only 5 other people that would be in this class. This is not like you, okay. So I'm going, oh, please, if I could just see the questions on the test. And I look down, and in the corner behind the chair is this paper that's folded. And I pick it up, and I look at it, and I think, no, it can't be. And I throw it back on the floor. Of course, it was the test. It was the test. And anyway, I didn't need that, but ask and you shall receive. All right, next.
I had a similar thing happen to me actually in middle school. We were doing Greek and Latin root words. I was not a studier. I got good grades because I could take a test well, but I didn't actually study for my tests. But a lot of the stuff that I do outside and with my mom and the stuff that I read at home just for fun, it has a lot of Greek and Latin root words, and I took a test in that, and it was 100 some questions. Teacher goes to pass out the questions. I'm just sitting there going, oh God, please don't let me fail. Please don't let me fail. She passes everyone's tests out, but mine. I'm like, oh God, I've completely failed this test. Pulls it up. I'm the only person that got a straight A. And I'm sitting there going, please don't let me fail. Please don't let me fail. I got what I wanted. I didn't fail. Yeah.
You more than didn't fail.
Yeah, I more than didn't
Beautiful,
fail, but I didn't
beautiful.
fail. So ask and you shall receive.
Yes, and intuition is simultaneous to, is that the word?
I don't
To intelligence.
Whatever would
Think
actually
about it.
link
Think
that.
about it.
Yes.
Is the noggin, my parents used to say. Yeah.
There you go.
Mhm. You're actually a very, very bright woman, honey. You're getting a reading right now.
Sorry. Oh, fun.
You know that you will excel at the speed of light, and you will meet many, many people along your path. So you've got, don't cap yourself, and don't let other people or relationships cap you.
Yeah, I love working at a place where they're psychic and can just tell you things that they get constantly. No, it is a lot of fun though. It really is. I do love when they have
I
information.
did do that
for me.
reading without permission, so.
It's all good.
Okay.
They know they have permission. My guides will just go to them anyways. If I don't listen, I'll just be like, hey, so you need to tell me something. So let's see what we have next. We have Heather asking, will I have a baby? If so, boy or girl?
Sometimes they can be both, honey. And there's incidents of that more frequently than one would know.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, the sacred hermaphrodite. Really and truly. Yes, you're going to have 2 children.
Oh, there you go.
1 boy, 1 girl. And they won't be one and the same. Okay.
Oh, man. Oh, look, a business question. We like these.
Okay.
It's a fun way to kind of mix it all up a little bit. We have Jasmine asking, is my business going to grow soon?
Yes. Yes. This is an interesting analogy. The Council of Archangel Michael are the group that I receive messages from, so they're always from the light. And what they've said is that you're birthing not just a business, but an offering. You're here to help lift up and enlighten people through what you do. So the more people you can reach, the sooner that is like they're showing me like a bird with wings that starts taking off and flying. Yeah, much success ahead of you. But remember, you're in the birthing process. You're not necessarily going to see it right immediately, but it is getting ready to go.
There you go.
Mhm.
And again, for anyone that's new, because I know we've had a few new people come in, if this is your first time with us, welcome. We do this every Thursday night here on Facebook. We have different readers with us, and they answer any questions you guys might have. And tonight, if any of you are really enjoying what you're hearing from Constantina, if you want to expand upon anything she's talked about, or even have more questions you want to ask her, you can come in and see her Monday through Thursday.
That's correct.
See, man, I'm going to get this down. From 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can either come in at 3114 East Indian School Road. We're in Phoenix. Or if you can't come in and you still want that, you can give us a call at 480-949-1888. And anyone at the front desk will be able to get you on the phone with her. So we do have a couple of options there. And I know you don't have any classes coming up yet, but you usually do teach as well. You have taught classes on quite a few things, haven't you?
Attempted to, yes, that's correct. Yes.
I know you've had a few of them.
On the altars, creating sacred spaces. What was the other one? Come on.
I feel like that happened when I went on maternity
I know,
leave, so I don't remember
it just all
anymore.
went. Memory techniques, I'll teach that too.
I think we all need those.
I
But
love it when
yes.
I'm doing readings sometimes for people that I've done readings for previously. It's amazing. They'll start downloading me and saying, "Well, don't you remember? Don't you remember we already talked about this with this person?"
You're like,
right. so they do help me with memory. So
that's
yes.
good. That's good.
Yes.
But yeah, so if you guys have any classes that you also would like her
Yes.
to teach, you've done it on playing cards, how to read playing cards.
Yes.
Funny enough, you used them and we couldn't think of that
Couldn't
one.
think of that one.
So there are some other things we have here that are a lot of fun.
Yes.
But yeah, that's always good. Let's see what else we have for you here. We have Lorraine asking, "Am I on the right path?"
What does the sign say?
Oh.
Don't forget your turn signal. Yes, especially it appears to me what they're telling me is that you changed paths recently, and in doing so you are now on the right path as a result of making that decision. So keep up the good work. Follow along, and you will get to where you're going. Follow the yellow brick road. Yes.
It's a singing kind of thing.
Yes, it is.
Nothing wrong with that.
And you will find success and romance along that path.
Oh.
The other one was no good. Somebody's doing this. No good.
No good. There you go. We have
Dead end.
Oh,
Dead
yeah.
end.
No, that is definitely not good then.
Mhm.
We have Floor asking, saying that I have been having a hard time finding a job. I have a second interview on Monday. Will this be a good career path for me in insurance?
Yes. There you go. There you go. See, I can interpret these any way I want to, make it up as I go. Yes, it's a good career path because it's allowing you to expand on the talents that you have. And insurance does help people. It helps them to have some sense of security so that they can live their lives and feel some sense of protection as they go about their lives. And in this day and age, we're all looking for protection.
Yeah. Isn't that true?
Mhm. We have a trauma-based society right now after post 9/11. And most people do not realize just how influenced they are by those events. Economically, we've been traumatized. And that's why we don't seem to get up and out of the financial issues that we've had going on, or health issues. Really, the whole nation has post-traumatic stress syndrome. I don't know how that went from insurance to that. Let me sell you a policy on that one.
If anyone could, it'd be you. We have Kathy asking, will the situation with my daughter and her family change?
Can you repeat that, sweetie?
Will the situation with my daughter and her family change?
Your daughter's family? Is that, and that's, apparently you're saying that's not your family? Is that right? Is that what I just heard?
That is how it's written.
So that's how you feel, and that's the experience and reality that you're experiencing, and you're being put for, in whatever way, shape, or form that is coming about, as feeling exorcised out of the family. And you're also saying that you feel your daughter is the one that holds the door, the key to the door, back into the, they're saying back into the family. And we might suggest to you that that family expects money in order to let you back in. And back in. And that is not a good thing. That's not a family. That's a business, but that's not a family. So the question is not about your daughter. The question is about you and what you want, where you want to be, and what you want to have experience of.
There you go. We have Denisa asking about her mental state and the period she's going through. Can you read it for her? And is she on the right path?
You know, the imprints that come upon us when we are children about ourselves, really, I think that parents and people involved with children should be made to like a driver's license. If you have to speak truth, and you have to speak from love if you're going to speak to a child. Otherwise, just shut your mouth up. And what I'm seeing, my dear one, is that people talked really badly about you when you were a child. And that is the reason for the mental state. It's really a mental state that's been internalized through your emotions. So if you have unlimited amount of success and capabilities. You're a very spiritual, kind, and thoughtful person, considerate person, understanding person, intelligent person. And you're here with a gift to share with many people on a very high level. So I'm going to encourage you, and I don't normally encourage people to necessarily get therapy, but get a therapy that exorcises out of your head, out of your mind, and out of your heart, hurtful people you knew as a child. Did I answer that? No? Yes.
I believe so, yes. We have Carla asking, should I stay or leave?
If I go, it will be... What was that? What's that song? If I stay, there will be trouble. If I go, there will be double, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
You know, if I didn't have bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. At least that was my theme song. Not really. The problem was I didn't think I ever had any bad luck. That was the problem.
There you go.
mean I can't date a serial killer? Why not? I don't understand.
Come on, that sounds like the smartest idea that could possibly be. That sounds like something you would do.
What was the question?
Should I stay or leave? From Carla.
What one should ask why you would have any doubt about your decision. See, when a person says, should I leave, they've already gone. We're like kids. You know how kids will ask permission after they've done something?
Don't I know it?
So you already knew, you've already been taking actions that have been leading yourself away. It's just your mind that hasn't been following the footsteps.
There you go.
There you go. It's not about should. It's about what is the reality. What is the truth?
There you go. We have Ruben asking, will I be able to find a great job this year, and will it be in Phoenix or Atlanta?
Wow. They're going to probably urge you to go towards Atlanta. Phoenix is not a bad area for you, but you tend to get a little lost in the process here. Whatever the process, what does that mean? I don't know. Atlanta is your place for success. My land, yes.
There you go. We have Zoraida asking, can I get a mini reading? So is there anything for Zoraida? If I mispronounce anyone's name tonight, I'm really sorry.
I heard that.
Heard nothing. Nothing happened.
Mother, is that you? I don't, I obviously can't talk with you, so I'm going to just go by my own experience in reading. You have a person that was very close to you, that you loved very deeply, that's on the other side, that is actually working with you to bring you into good relationships, restore your sense of well-being, and guide you into the direction that you need to be going in with the people that you need to be going in. Most of us, when I do certain readings that are based on in general this way, what I find is that people are standing like a house divided, and they offer up for themselves an idea that they think they're supposed to be doing, and the idea of the people they think they're supposed to be with, and then they have what they really, really want and desire and feel for themselves. What you want to do is line things up. You don't want to go back and forth like this. That way you never go anywhere. As a child, I used to try to walk crossing one foot over the other. I don't know if any of you ever did that. I did little silly stuff like that. And that didn't go very far, right? So you want to line yourself up so that your heart mind is lined up with your divine consciousness. One heart, one mind, one voice is how the natives put it. Speak with one mouth, not a forked tongue, to yourself.
There you go.
I don't know where that came from.
An interesting one that we have is, will you do a class on how to read the playing cards online? probably be something we'd have to figure out then,
That,
huh?
you would have, yes, we could do that. We could do that.
So yeah, that's a great idea. And we
I
love
don't know
that.
who would teach that, but we could do that.
Well, unfortunately for her, she's our only reader here that reads with playing cards. So I wonder who could be teaching that.
I have a book. Jerry gave me a book not too long ago, instructional. It was printed in 1966 with that brown paperback, flaky paper now. Anyway, yes.
Wow. Yeah, so we'll definitely look into that. We'll see if we can get more stuff going online for people, especially if we have more people out of the state or out of the country. We do have a few people that have
Yes.
written in from different countries. So that's kind of fun.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, we have we have Lorraine asking for a mini reading from Australia.
Ah,
See? From pretty far away.
oh. Beautiful, honey. It's very interesting. I was here at the store doing readings today. This is after hours for us. And of course, this is the eve of, or the after Valentine's Day. And it's amazing how many people had broken hearts for Valentine's Day. However, that seems to be what happened with you. I'm sorry. But it's for the best, as Mother used to say, when she gave you castor oil, which that's not, never mind, I'm just going on. So what is happening for you is your ideas of what you wanted in a relationship. You're looking at a person who's an object of your love and affections, and realizing that they're really not that person that you need or want, and that you are experiencing that, at least that's what I'm seeing, as a painful, hurtful situation, almost like they deliberately deceived you. But this is about knowing who you are and what you want and what makes you comfortable in your life, what you need for your soul development and emotional peace. You stop being around people that unnerve you, is the word I just heard, that get under your skin and cause conflict within your own mind. Anyone who causes you to doubt is not a friend.
And for anyone that cares, this Valentine's Day fell on an interesting time because today is actually the new moon. And so that's
right.
the time for new beginnings. So I'm not a reader here, but as someone that has worked at the store for almost 4 years now, if anything did happen that seemed strange yesterday or out of the blue, or it hurt more than it should have, or whatever should have is to you, this is the time for new beginnings. So that's what it's all about. It's bringing you what needs to be. Just
It is actually bringing healing, and sometimes pain is the precipitator of that healing.
And it's in Pisces. Another little.
Oh.
There you go. So,
Okay.
just so you guys are aware, and I think there's a solar eclipse of some sort somewhere as well. I don't know. I pay attention to all the little weird things. So there's a lot of energy going on as well. So it all came at a weird time.
Yes.
If it seems strange or too much or anything like that, write it out for a few more days. It usually, the energy really starts to calm down again after about 3 days, I think it is, after the full or new moon. So give it a few days. Sit in it. Don't make any rash decisions. Don't just jump the gun on anything.
Right.
Just sit in it. Let it be. Let it be what it is. And then once that time goes, or you really feel settled, or that you know in your heart of heart that that is what this is,
Right.
then do it.
Yes. It's true.
I'm not a reader here, but I work here, so
She's a reader.
there's a little tidbit
She
for
reads
you.
under the table is what happens here.
Sorry. So yeah.
This to me was a Valentine's that represented learning and falling in love with yourself and your own life. And sometimes we have to recognize or identify whatever is going on in your life that is keeping you from being in that space. So if that's the true Valentine's, is How much do I love me?
Yeah, it really is, and it's an interesting year, man. 2018 is gonna be fun.
Okay. Okay.
I have to find some
Okay,
positivity
I'll
in it.
go with
Come
that.
on.
Yes.
You gave me a reading earlier. It's gonna be fun.
It's
Didn't say it wouldn't be crazy. It'll be fun.
Yeah,
It'll be something to look out for.
yeah.
So we do only have a few more minutes.
Yes.
Few minutes left, so we do have
Okay.
time for a few more readings. We have BB saying, "Should I explore my spirituality?"
Buy travel insurance, please, before you do that. Never mind. I don't think baby's as old as I am, so she doesn't really quite get that. I used to be traveling through the airports because I traveled a lot, and we used to be able to buy life insurance before you got on the plane, and it was kind of like betting on the plane going down.
Oh my God.
I think that all stopped after 9/11.
Oh, really? Wonder why.
That's sick. I'm sorry. Please send the hate mail, mail to care of Vision Quest.
No, please don't. I mean, I will read through it. But
What did she say?
she asked if she should explore her spirituality.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You are gifted in that way. You're an old soul. You've been around. You've done this before. And the wonderful thing about you is that you have the ability to shine a light on areas or subject matters that people find painful or difficult to look at, but you can do it and interpret it in such a way that people are encouraged by it and thus precipitate the changes in their life that they need to have a successful, happy, joyous, free life.
There you go. We have Tanya just asking for a reading. So is there anything for Tanya?
People really need to trust more in themselves. And if they can't trust in themselves, at least trust in your abilities. And then you will learn to trust yourself. Well, you've been through a really, really rough time, but it is you're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. The people that have left your life, because last year was a very large, a year of endings, and this year's the new beginnings. Last year was a lot of endings. They really needed to go. So the tormentors, they're calling them, are now gone. So trust in that, accept that, receive that, and you will find those people that you belong, your group that you belong with. There you go.
We have Carrie asking if you know the name of that book that Jerry gave you.
How to read cards, playing cards. That's
Do you
we
remember who the author
pulled it out of the dumpster, or Jerry did. Thank you, Jerry.
It's all her fault. All her fault.
I think there was a little lettuce on page 29. It's an old book, and it's probably a very authentic, good one, because that was the era when that was printed, when people were reading this way a lot more than they are now.
Definitely. So, Carrie, if you want the author and title fully, send us a message, and I'll get back to you. I'm going to say by Monday to be safe and give myself a couple of days to get the information from her. But I'll get
Jerry,
that to you.
From Jerry.
Or from Jerry.
Okay, so, Jerry, you owe me for every time I've mentioned your name.
Right? So, yeah. So, Carrie, just send us a message here on Facebook, and I'll get that information for you in the next few days. So, we're just about here at the end. Let's see, one last question. We have, let's see what we have here. We have January asking, can you see anything for the next 3 months?
Yes, I see February, March, and April.
So you can go into May.
See, that's about when my mother would have kicked me, right there. That would have been worth it.
Is that why you went
That's,
like that?
that's why I
Feel it
left now. So, by June, you're going to have you're going to be having much more fun than you had last year. Last year was kind of a bummer, is what they're saying. The career that you're in is going to start taking off, and you're going to feel more comfortable and have more success, and really start to enjoy work instead of work just trying to prove and get ahead. It's gonna start having a flow, and you're gonna be driving it more than you're gonna be dragged by it. That's good. That's my driving.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry that we couldn't get to everyone tonight. For some people, I don't try to go straight down the line. I do try to skip through and find things, different questions. So I'm really sorry if I've missed any of your questions tonight. I know we had a lot come in. So please tune in again next week, and we will have another reader. Just tune in at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I know what time this thing starts. I do it every week. And if you enjoyed anything that you heard tonight, because there was a lot, you can always come in and see Constantina Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can come in at 3114 East Indian School Road, or if you can't make it in, you live in a different country, in a different state, or you just don't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to this morning. You can give us a call at 480-949-1888, and one of the counter staff will get you over to Constantina. If any of you have any suggestions that you would like to make, you can send me a message in the Facebook place brain. My brain just completely stopped there for a second. So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions that you might have, you can always send that for classes that you would like Constantina to teach. Then please send those over, and we will get on that. Thank you guys so much for being with us. It's been a lot of fun, and we can't wait for next week.